So, what shall we talk about now, man? So, with the things that transpired now, with this whole test match, and we have something else to discuss as well. So, we might as well just get started with. So,
Uh,
what were your thoughts on this historic win on for India? This is the largest win in terms of margins for India, and the second largest in terms of loss of margin for England, and the highest one being like around 536 or something, which happened like before World War II, that is probably around like probably around 90 years ago or something. So, what do you think of it, man?
First of all, I like to address the elephant of the issue that Ajit has taken replaced me to be the host of the meeting. So I'm officially retiring as the host and all. Ban me from
I
any
mean,
meetings.
that's not true. Come on, bro.
So, joke aside, look, looking at this Indian team, the inexperience which they have got compared to England, which they have a lot of experience. I think this is the kind of win that you never see in this Indian team, considering the fact that we are missing a couple of our first key players, and the way the youngsters and showed character, especially the guy, especially Jaisball, who's hitting his second consecutive double hundred. It is something like a youngster of his age showing this level of maturity, calmness, composure, uh, showing bravery and boldness at this age is tremendous. And same with Safraz. I mean, Safraz has the grinding of the first class experience runs. I
It's
mean,
already
he's
there
running
for so many years of first class
so many
cricket,
years.
man. That's
But
it seasoned him.
every Indians have been complaining and they are talking bullcrap on the Indian selectors of why they are not picking him early. But I mean, nonetheless, they picked him. They picked him finally, and he got his due rewarded, and he scored. It's not just the runs he scored; it's the way he scored. Yes, he had opportunities of scoring centuries, especially in the first innings. But he played at the great tempo. Because imagine if in the first innings, if Rohit got out, uh, if Joe Root got the catch, then things would have been different. He wouldn't have played with that certain amount of freedom, uh, which he's known for. Then it would have been different. But the way he played is amazing, and of course, the Ravindra Jadeja coming back from injury. I mean, and especially considering that the way he came in early at 31 for 3, shown great character. And it's not a surprise, to be honest, because he's played these kind of innings before itself. It's not a surprise,
Lot
and
of
it's
times.
not. It's been so many. India, he has bailed India out for so many times uh, in the past, and the way he bowled also in the second innings is credit to him. So I feel Jadeja. I mean, nothing else to say. He is the superstar of Indian cricket, the
Especially if you
world's
look
best.
into his first innings, the way Jadeja bowled and he was belted around. And now to come back in the second innings and get those 5 wickets, getting a 5 wicket haul, it was, and especially with Ashwin, he had to go back
Oh
home
yeah,
in the
yes.
middle of the test match and then he had to come back again. I mean, it was something good. I would disagree with you on the Sarfaraz assessment where you said if Rohit got out and he would have not played with that freedom.
No,
I think he would have
I
played like that
will.
regardless. It's just
No, no,
that
I'll tell
was
you
his
what,
debut.
bro. Because no, no,
That's the
no,
mindset he had.
no, no.
It
I'll
looked
tell you
very
what.
evident to me. Yeah,
You look good. No, but the thing is that when you're playing a first international game, it's a different pressure compared to domestic cricket. That's what I'm saying. Coming early would be a little different matter. He won't be playing with that freedom. He had to hold himself,
I thought he
play.
would have. I personally thought he would have because it was very clear the way he was batting. Then the way he was the thing was his technique against the fast bowlers was not that bad. People there was some rumors around somewhere circulating for some stupid reason. They were saying like, hey, Sarfraz against fast bowlers is it's a bit of a liability or something. I mean, he's been playing like first class cricket against some good fast bowlers also. So which doesn't make sense anyway. But I mean, it's different, playing against some quality international bowlers. But he did well. So, when Markwood was teaming in and when Anderson was also bowling, he played accordingly. But when the spinners came in, he belted them around. So, see, the thing was that he was just playing the way he always played, whether it was in first class cricket and what have you. And you saw that in the match. So it was in any, regardless of any situation, I thought, that would have been the case. I mean, look, if you're saying that, he's coming in a situation where if Rohit Sharma got out early, let's say that India were like 50 for 4 or something, that is exactly what he would do for Mumbai. He played in those situations. That's what
Hmm.
he is like more of a specialized,
Yeah,
role for him. It's like under
that's true.
trouble, but let's say Mumbai were like around 65 for 4 or something. He would just come in and, just,
No, but
take
then
the
there's
attack
a
and,
difference.
get them
No,
to a good
there's a
score.
difference from international. There's a difference from domestic to international, and that playing for country is there's a different pressure itself. That's what I'll say. Whether he'll be able to cope up with the pressure, because when you're playing a Ranji Trophy, with no crowd, nothing else, with no expectation, you can play. Whereas when you're playing in international cricket, you're being telecasted in front of millions of people, with crowd, family being there. It's a different pressure. International cricket is a little different. But then I credit to him, and nevertheless, you cannot take that credit away from him. He played an important role in giving that booster shot that India required, especially in the second innings where India, obviously when he came in, India were in the dominant position, but then he made sure that England sweat and bleed harder than before. So and he played that
Yeah.
innings with great swagger, great confidence. The way he plays the sweep shots. I mean, I might just say that he is probably him and Yashasvi Jaiswal are the two best players of spin in India at this point. Of course, other than Shreyas Iyer, I
Mm-mm.
feel these.
Mm,
I feel these.
and,
I feel, huh?
who? Who?
Sarfraz
Who?
and Yashasvi
No, no,
Jaiswal. I
no.
feel.
Who's the other guy you said?
I say Shreyas Iyer. Other, Shreyas Iyer is also good.
And, and, and. Right
No, no.
now, where is he now? Where is he
He's
now?
out. He's in the hospital, bro. He spends most of his time in hospital, bro. Eh, So
I
it's
mean,
like, bro,
bro.
it's like you're talking, bro. It's like you're talking about Neymar in injuries. Same way with Shreyas, he is also with injured. So, but what I'm saying is that if you look at the previous generation with the Rohits, with the Kohlis and Ajinkya Rahane, none great players were spin, but we are seeing players now, Sarfraz and Yashasvi Jaiswal, playing spin with great effectiveness. Of course, the quality of spinners are not that great. Of course, Hartley bowled one in one test match, but after that, he hasn't bowled that well. He's giving full tosses to
Ah,
Jaiswal, and Jaiswal destroyed him. And Rayan Ahmed, I'm like, for what joy? I saw a statement before this test match saying that I would rather bowl an ugly ball and get a wicket rather than bowling maiden overs, and it becomes boring. I'm like, bro, you're a
boring.
bowler, and you
Boring.
have to. And I'm like, come on, it doesn't make any sense. Even the great Shane one also would have slapped you for that. See, Shane Warne himself says that you set an aggressive field, but also both defensively, both more maiden overs, build the pressure, then make the batsman pay for it. I mean, Reina, this kind of immaturity comment is coming the way he's saying.
I mean, bro,
He
if I were a
deserves
bowler,
the
I would obviously want maiden overs, bro. Because I myself, I
yeah.
would usually bowl spin. I bowl a slow left arm bowling. So imagine if if I'm in certain shoes where if I'm in international level, for example, and if I want to be consistent, I would rather bowl a lot of maiden overs and, keep my bowling spell overall be good. See, even if you're not getting wickets, of course, wickets are important because that's how, selections and all that going forward and your career will progress. That's how it will be. But I would rather have an overall good spell. Let's say that if I bowl like a 20 over spell, I mean, like a full quota of 20 overs or 25 overs in a test match in an innings. I would rather have a very good economy and also some few wickets, maybe one or two wickets. It doesn't matter. So a balance of both would be good. So an overall good spell is important. But I mean, bro, it's like saying you're getting a 5 wicket haul, but you've bowled like 20-25 overs. You got a 5 wicket haul, but you end up giving up like 150 runs. That's no use. They've done the damage. So
It's useless. I mean,
I mean, that's not good anyway. But
yeah, they were
I
bro,
would
and
say,
I've seen,
huh,
I've seen,
go ahead.
I've
Yeah, yeah.
seen, I've seen articles from the same journal saying that Jaisball is the amazing thing. I mean, specifically about Joe Root's shot. He says that Joe Root's shot in the Ashes, the reverse scoop shot, is the most bravest and most outrageous thing. The same reporter is reporting saying that is the stupidest shot I've ever seen. I mean, it's the English media, bro. They're so
It's the
hypocrite. It's
hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy, man.
hypocrisy level is on another level, and which makes me to the
And also,
question.
even see, I just openly say this out. I don't give a shit anyway. The thing is that the media and all that, they just hype them a lot, and all of a sudden they just
Yeah, yeah.
bash them out. It
See,
happens everywhere. But even the thing is that even the England team, bro, I sometimes don't understand what they do at times. It's sometimes so baffling, and the thing is that see, they are some of they're like very they act brave and tough. They act tough everywhere against any other teams, but against Australia, they act scared. It's not that I'm not saying that they look scared, but they all of a sudden look so they look inferior all of a sudden, especially when they come to Australia and Ashes. I mean, bro, how many the last few times they've come to Australia, what happened to England? They get swept or they lose
bro,
4-0 or something like that.
it's like if a sheep. It's like you're a sheep in a lion's den. That's how scared you'll be.
Exactly.
So see, bro, I'll be honest with you.
The only
Basketball,
good thing they
basketball.
do is the only good things they've done is giving Independence Day to a lot of countries. I
That
mean,
sounds.
how many countries are celebrating Independence Day?
I hear you. Let's not get there. Let's not get there. I don't want to get there.
I mean, it's a joke. Relax. I'm
I
not
know, I
going
know,
into it.
I know. No,
I'm
but
not
I
going in
said,
deep into this. Relax.
I know.
This is
Yeah, I
not.
just want.
There's no politics in this. Let
I know.
me put this out. I'm not going to go into it. I'm claiming it now.
Yeah,
I'll just.
yeah.
It's a joke. Relax.
Oh, don't worry, bro. England is so good at giving independence. So they take all the players from different countries, so you don't have to worry about that. So
I mean, you said you don't want to go there, but now you've gone too deep into it, so we don't need to go there now.
it's okay.
Now we have to
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, yeah. So I'm just saying that the basketball, the theory itself is good, the approach is good, but then some of the players, the way they're playing, they're playing out of the character, man. Like someone like Joe Root, Johnny Besto. I mean, Joe Root, especially, bro, someone who got 11,000 runs in Test cricket. Uh, the way he's playing these reverse scoop shots and all, I mean, it worked in England, it worked in Australia, it works at such flat wickets. This is also flat wickets, but then when you're playing against a quality bowlers of, but once the ball turns, these reverse scoop shots and reverse sweep shots will never work, man. He has to
Especially
apply
if the
better.
bounce is not there, if the ball is not going to bounce in, especially in those Indian wickets, if it as the test match progresses, you're not going to get that good bounce anyway.
Exactly.
Maybe in the first day you can get, especially if England had won the toss and if they bat first on a good pitch, that would work.
Yeah, it
That's the thing.
works.
It might. I'm saying it might. Yeah, I'm not saying it will definitely work. I'm saying it might. But again, it's like every other player, man. I mean, Joe Root had a like a purple patch for like 2 years, 2-3 years of
Yeah, he had a purple.
even
He's
against India and
under
even in the Asian
under the
tours.
bass
Huh?
ball. Under the bass ball, his average is 51, which shows that it worked pretty well. But in Asian condition, in Indian condition, you got to alter your game a bit better. Your defense should be pretty strong. Your football should be very subtle. Should be correct. Same with Johnny
I
Besto.
mean,
Johnny
Ben
Besto,
Duckett. I
same.
mean, look, Ben Duckett is playing great, man. Even though he's
Ben
following the
Duckett is
same baseball
no, Ben
approach, but
Duckett
he's
is
playing well.
Ben Duckett is playing very well. He's playing these sweep shots, playing these reverse sweep shots. That suits his game. Same with Oliver. Whereas Joe Root, he's more of a very organized, more proper player, orthodox player. I'd rather to see him play the way he knows how to play. Same with Johnny Best. I mean, Johnny Best plays 100 test match averages around 35, 40. It's not the greatest of averages. He, it's not the great record. Of course, in the last a year or two, he has done very well. Don't get me wrong, but let's be honest, it's all in England, man. It worked in England when we're playing in India against a quality opposition, the quality attack of the Bumrahs, the Siraj, the Jadejas, the Kuldevs, the Ashwins. You cannot just blindly score runs. You got to be smart about when to hit, when not to hit. That is something that is I feel this baseball is it's hyped up way too much, and plus it's
I
getting
would
to a
also
point
say that India bowled well. That's the thing.
in India
India,
bowled well. It's the
the
quality
India
of
bowled
Indian
well.
bowling. India, see this. Let's be honest. Rajkot wicket is the flattest among all the of the pitches we have seen so far. It's not the. It doesn't have any demons. It's just that the quality of the Indian bowling is far superior ahead than the newbies of England. And I mean, I'll be honest with you. Let James Anderson retire, man. I mean, how long that man has to play? I know he'll play for the 708 wickets, want to overtake Shane Warne. Come on, man. Uh, you rather die as a legend, but you live as long as you have to see yourself as a villain. That's the exact quote from Harvey from the Dark Knight Rises. That I think from the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah,
And
that's
whatever it is,
exactly
I
what
don't
James
watch a lot of
Anderson.
them anyway, but
No,
go
that's
ahead.
exactly
I
what.
take your word. I take
No,
your word.
yeah, that's exactly what James Anderson is doing. That I mean, look, he's a great bowler. I mean, we all know that. But then the way he's getting belted around, like someone like Jaisball who's hitting him for three sixes, and I mean, it's very baffling. The only good bowler who had bowled well is Mark Wood. But Mark Wood, you cannot use him in every test match because he's very injury prone. James Anderson, the
Yeah,
pace is yes.
I mean, bro,
Hartley,
James Anderson's 41, bro. Come on, bro.
no, it's
I
not
still
James
can't
Anderson.
believe,
When
I still can't believe he's still playing, bro.
Hartley is not a consistent bowler. He's bowling full tosses. Okay, one match he bowled well. I give you that. But then he doesn't have the control. He's giving full tosses, giving easy balls. Ran him with his immature attitude of giving away full tosses and all. Actually, really, to be honest, they've missed Jack Leach. To be honest, they've missed Jack Leach so much because he gives a
Yeah, with his
control.
injury, he got
Injury,
injured, unfortunately.
not
It's
injured.
unfortunate, I would say, but
The spin
I
reserve,
think,
the spin
yeah.
reserve is not great. When you're playing in India, you need quality spinners, and England doesn't have that.
I mean, yeah, it's very evident. You can clearly see that. But anyway, I mean, England have a lot to do. It's to be honest, they best to and root either one of them or both of them. You know, if England needs to have a chance, I mean, see, the series is still not over. You still have two test matches. So, like we've seen so far, that anything can happen. I mean, I don't know. I'll rather keep it 50-50 and say, it's a new test match. Anything can happen. I'll leave it as it is rather than me going on a high horse and say, oh, it's confirmed. India 4-1. Now I would rather not do that
Not just
because,
that, Bumrah is also
because
rested. Bumrah is also rested for the next test match. I don't know if you heard the news.
I didn't hear it. So, is it confirmed?
Apparently, yeah, apparently it's confirmed. I think in Cricket Buzz they've shown that he's been rested.
Hmm. Well, that is one thing. That's another thing that India have to consider. But the other thing would be, um, oh, God, I wanted to say something. Yeah, if England win the toss and bat first, then what would India do then? Because we've seen that what happened in the first test match when England won the toss, England were batting first in Hyderabad, and India were under a lot of pressure. They were panicking way too much while they were just chasing like 230. I mean, you didn't need to panic like you were chasing like what 400, 450. It was 230.
See,
You had too much pressure, but
see,
I mean, I don't
that
know.
that test match,
If
see
India
that
were
test match,
chasing,
that see that test match should not happen every time. India had the
it will
game.
not
It's
happen
just that
every
they
time. I'll give you that, but
what happened.
it's a
Yeah,
different challenge. So
yeah, that is true.
things could be a lot more difficult, especially now with Virat Kohli is not going to be there throughout the series. It's confirmed. KL Rahul is going to be back. That is a good news. But of course, they're going to replace the Rajat Patidar right now. I mean, it's clear. If KL Rahul is coming back, there's no way he's replacing Sarfaraz. He's going to replace Patida.
Hmm.
And I would say that there would be a bit of a problem for India when India are going to chase. It's I will give you that it's that the test match that happened in Hyderabad is not going to repeat itself every time. It's a very rare occurrence. I'll give you that. But with the batting, it's still I don't know. It depends. It's where when you have the highest pressure, especially for a run chase. I don't know.
No,
It's going to be a
but
very
but
different
the
challenge and
but
going to
then
be
the good
even
news.
difficult task.
No, no, but the good news of India is that form of Rohit Sharma is so crucial. The form of Rohit Sharma, Jaiswal is in. He's on a dream run. Juman Gill
Yeah, bro.
coming back to form, pretty crucial. Safras showing his worth. Now KL Rahul coming back. He has made some contribution in his last couple of test matches. Jadeja, the number one all rounder in the world, no point talking about it. Dhruv
And
Jurel.
I think he will bat at number four if instead of Patida. So that's what I feel.
No, I think it'll
I'm
be KL
talking about
Rahul.
KL Rahul.
I think it'll be
Yeah,
KL
that's what
Rahul.
I'm saying. I'm telling you, KL Rahul will be the guy playing at number four. And frankly, I think I've said this to you before, but I frankly see Sarfaraz staying there, having a mainstay, securing his spot for now. Uh, if Kohli is going to come back, I feel like he would replace Rahul because I know it's a hot take. I'll say it as it is because I feel like Sarfaraz. See, he's like at the purple patch. He's at red. Not red hot, white hot form. Sarfaraz is in like that white hot form. Like no one at the world cricket right now in debut. Like I'm saying right now, who has made a debut, who has shown that impact. I think with this white hot form, carrying it from first class and now to his debut match. I mean, it will be interesting to see what he would do the two test matches. I mean, if he performs like that, then I see him staying there. I see him, holding into his position as a batsman in the middle or either at five or six. I mean, if Rishabh Pant is going to come back soon later this year, Rishabh Pant at five and Sarfaraz at six, I see that happening. You have Gill at number three, Kohli at number four, Rishabh Pant at number five, and Sarfaraz at six continuing. See, regardless of the what overseas track record of KL Rahul or whatever it is, I'll give you that he has a good track record in overseas conditions. Especially, he has hundreds in South Africa. He has 100 in England. He has 100 in Australia also. So he's pretty much scored runs pretty much everywhere in overseas. Regardless whether he has he has not the greatest of average because he's had a lot of innings where he had single digit scores or even low scores, whatever it is. So okay, I'll give you all the track record and all that. But if you're picking someone who's in good form, who's seasoned well from first class cricket, you might as well continue because it's more of an experience. You need to learn how to adapt to international countries. The conditions there, how it works. So only through experience and only by adaptation, only then that's when you'll get another chance to go to that country again and perform well. That's how some of the greats you've seen, like Tendulkar, Lakshman, Dravid, they went there for the first time also as young cricketers back in the early and mid 90s. They were going there at the first time as in their early 20s. They performed well and they got adapted to it. Then later, when they were in their peak of their careers, all of them, they had like mountains of runs going there. So that's how you will develop a new cricketer, and that's how you should do because you can't straight away say that hey, he's a liability. How he's going to play in overseas. I mean, bro, you need to give him a chance to play test matches first, regardless of conditions. So
I
since now
get
he's
that.
played test
Hey,
matches at home, you still need to give him chances
hey,
everywhere.
give
That's
him a
what.
run.
See, that's the
Give
problem
him
I
a run.
had, and I'll finish this, and then give
Yeah, yeah,
your
sure.
point and this. And people are like, criticizing on Jaiswal, he didn't do that well in South Africa. And I'm like, okay, he was playing his third test match, his third and fourth test match. What is there to say about him? Especially like, oh, his place is in question or something like that. I mean, like, how is that, what is that then? I mean, you're playing in South Africa, which is By far, I personally think that South Africa is the toughest of all conditions in all overseas in Sena countries, however you want to say that. I think me personally, I would say that is the toughest of all, in because it's uh, it's the biggest challenge, I would say, in terms of conditions. Of course, in terms of the team and the aura and all that, in terms of prestige, of course it is Australia. I mean, every team would want to do well in Australia, in test cricket, that is, if they want to tour in Australia and if they are playing test matches, it is Australia in terms of being big and significant and the prestige. But in terms of the conditions which are big, which are very tough to adapt and adjust, and to really put your effort in, and how to put in hours of concentration, and have that art of playing great test cricket, South Africa's, I probably think it's the toughest. It's like
Yeah.
England and Australia combined. So
I,
so as a youngster who's making a debut
although
there, I mean, debut
although
in the sense making your appearance there in South Africa for Jaiswal to adapt. See, if he had scored 100 or maybe 50 there, I would say that's extraordinary. But him not getting big scores and all that, he's playing his usual self, and he's learning. So you got to give it time. But look at it now. I mean, look, he's had like three hundreds and now he has two double hundreds already. So you have to give time and seasoning to let new young players who are making the test debuts or who are just getting their initial chances in test cricket. You need to let them adapt, and let them get that experience. So I
Mm.
think that's somewhere that the selections have been a lot of problems have occurred over the years, especially for especially right now that India are going through this transition phase in all three formats, I would say, especially test match, that is right now. So you need to give it a time. So that's how it will work.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, when you're giving chances to younger players, it's their first time, and it's very alien to them because what they have played at home compared to what they've seen in abroad is completely different thing, and it's only fair to give chances to them. And regarding Sarfaraz Khan's plays in the team, uh, as I said, the K. Rao's test record, the track record, especially in overseas, has been good, but most of it has been as an opener, and there is no spot in the opening at all as of now. We literally have three openers at the moment with Shubman Gill as an opener who has opened before. Now he's batting at number three. Where does KL Rahul fit? Number six. And he has done well in South Africa. He's the only Indian to score 100 there itself. But whereas Safraz Khan has, with his first class grind the past couple of years, maybe there would be there maybe if he does well in the next three tests in the next two test matches, score 100 or 150 or double 100, whatever situation it may be, I think he would challenge that spot, I feel. But what I've observed with this team management, I'm just looking at the way this
The
team
way this
management functions. I feel they will go with KL Rahul because they show loyalty towards they'll show loyalty towards certain players. I mean, they back certain players. I mean, we have seen that with Shreyas Iyer, they're given too long a rope for someone like Shubman Gill. I mean, Shubman Gill should have been dropped a couple of test matches but suddenly. But kudos to the selectors to seeking them, and he's coming out pretty well. He's scoring runs. I think the
you
same
need
thing.
to give him credit now. I don't think Gill will be dropped
No, he
soon,
won't be. He will not be
anytime soon.
dropped.
Because
I think
he
the
he
same
has
thing.
he has really fought for his place, and he has really come back really strongly. It's
Come
it's
back
a
very
it's a
strong.
shame that he didn't score another 100 in that test
Yeah,
match.
yeah, he
I
did.
was so disappointed. I
Yeah,
felt
yeah,
so
yeah.
bad for him.
Yeah, but then the way they have shown loyalty towards Shubman Gill, I feel they would do the same thing to KL Rahul. I feel they would do that. But of course,
But
we
it's
all want
not
to
good to
support.
do so, because if Virat Kohli is going to come back, and
Virat
I
Kohli
don't
bro
think
would
it's
not.
fair on Sarfaraz also, man. Especially the problem is that you need to strike when the iron's hot. That's the phrase you'll hear. You need to strike in when the iron is hot.
Mm-hmm.
Sarfaraz, like I'm saying, he's in that ultra. white hot form, man. He's like
yeah,
in the greatest of patches. You have to utilize, you have to, get every juice out of it. It's like you have to keep using it as much as it
yeah,
possible, so that
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's, it's going to benefit for the team. I'm not saying see, if you have to make changes like that, if you think that it's going to benefit the team, and he's proved that. I mean, it's only one test match, I'll give you that. If he proves it again in the next test match in Ranchi and then the final match in Dharamshala, if he proves his worth in this two next two test matches, I think you have to give a longer run to a guy who is grinded this hard to get selected for the Indian cricket team. You might as well give a long run. That's what you did
yeah,
for Jaiswal, because
yeah,
you
yeah,
said about loyalty and all that, but they've also done the same thing for Jaiswal in a way that he has grinded, he has played his way through to the Indian Test team through first class cricket. You might as well do the same thing for Sarfaraz Khan. You did this. It's just nothing. You don't need to make it complicated. It's simple. What you did for Jaiswal, do the same thing for Sarfaraz Khan. That's it. You
yeah,
don't need
yes.
to do much.
True, true.
I give you that Rahul is like the senior player. He has his track record, everything. Okay, we don't need to touch too much into it. And also, man, KL Rahul, again, it's the same case as Shreyas Iyer. He's getting injured very often. I mean, let's face
Yeah.
it, especially with his whole quads and hamstring injuries, he just gets that way too often.
I'll be honest with
That's
you.
the problem I've
I'll
had
be,
with
I'll be,
KL
I'll
Rahul
be,
for a
I'll be
while, man.
honest with
Like
you.
he's in good form, and then all of a sudden, I know, like, the injuries are not his fault. I'll give you that. It's
Yeah,
unfortunate, but at times you have to, say like, okay, it's getting too much, because what would I prioritize? Would I prioritize the next generation of cricketers? I need to move on with this, rather than
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
okay, I'll give him chance when he's back and all that. See,
yeah,
it is
that's
good
true.
that you are giving him chance, because it's unfair on him as well. It's injury and all that. Okay, I would agree with that, but you got to see what it is, man. You have to go to the future, because you have Jaiswal, Gill, and Sarfraz. So you are having the core right now. It's you have started you have Jaiswal and Gill right now, and then if you add Sarfaraz into it, it's like a new core being formed. It's the young core should be there. And if you keep relying on the senior players again, I mean, KL Rahul is not that young anymore. He's now 31 years old. So I know it's his prime. I know it's there. I'm not
Another
saying he's
thing,
that old, but again,
another
you
thing,
have to
I
think
tell
the
you,
big picture, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Another thing about KL Rahul, I feel is that this is what I've thought about it for a while. That in the World Cup, he's a keeper for India in the ODI. Most likely, he might keep for this T20 World Cup. The
I
way
mean,
he
I mean, let me put this way: don't even touch anything on KL Rahul on ODIs. That's untouched.
no, no,
You're not
I'll be
even going to.
honest. No, no,
They're going to do nothing for him on the ODI thing. He'll
let me
remain
finish.
there as an ODI
No,
player.
no, no,
So that nothing to talk about.
let me talk about it. Is he a long term future? Is he a long term keeper? Because the way he's training himself so much with the keeping, with his quads, with his knee, with his hamstring, especially in test matches. Also, they kept him. They made him keep for two test matches. I think this is my analogy. It is almost like how Rahul Dravid kept in the 2003 World Cup, unless the great MS Dhoni came and he became the permanent keeper. The same way I feel, same similarly for in one days and test matches, that KL Rahul is like a makeshift keeper. I mean, credit to him, he has kept very well in one day cricket also.
Yeah,
But
of course.
I seriously feel that he's not a permanent keeper in the future at all. Not only in
No,
test matches, no way he's not a firm.
I
But
mean, not
even
just
in
keeping, bro. I mean, I'm just talking about him in long-term future as a batsman,
yeah,
let
yeah,
alone keeping.
no, that's not bro. Even in limited overs also, he's not a permanent keeper at all because he's getting injured way too much. And I have a feeling that it's best for Indian cricket team that the sooner they move on from KL Rahul as a keeper and make him as a batsman. I don't think they will move on from him in ODI cricket yet. But there'll
No,
come a
that's
time.
not happening.
But there is come a time where if there'll come a time where you need to you have to make this call. And well, if Rishabh Pant comes back, if he scores runs again, you got a ready-made keeper there itself. Rishabh Pant, he's proper fit. He's a proper
Yeah,
keeper. I feel in all formats you need a proper keeper, man. You cannot go with these makeshift keepers. Keep handing debuts to. new guys. Of course, I know that Rishabh Pant's absence has really spoiled everything.
A lot of things. Yeah.
A lot of things, especially in Test matches, we're not having a stable keeper at the moment. Now, once Rishabh comes back, then
I
it's
mean,
fully set.
imagine him, Sarfaraz and Kohli in the
Yeah,
middle
yeah,
order,
that's it.
and Gill. Oh my
It will
God.
be, it'll be good. Virat Kohli also,
That's what
Jadeja.
I'm saying. Shubman Gill, Kohli,
Yeah, yeah,
Sarfaraz, and Rishabh Pant.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's see, that's the ideal playing 11 I would see. And
Yeah,
that is also the thing, bro. That now India are shifting to a new style of play rather than I mean, since you have named as Jaisball, I mean,
Jaisball.
wow,
It's Jazz
wow,
Ball,
that's
bro.
very cute.
It's Jaisball, bro. Bro, you.
Yeah,
It's my homage and a tribute to Yashasvi Jaiswal, bro. I mean, bro,
I
that
mean,
kid,
I mean,
that
we'll
that
officially just nickname him as Jaisball. That's a good nickname, but
I like
like
it, bro.
like I wanted to make a point on this that India are trying to transition into a new style of play. It may not be. I don't think it's the same as basketball because I don't see that. But what I see is that it's an attacking. No, let me finish.
Yeah, yeah.
A very attacking way of playing cricket, but being very sensible and very very level headed and being very steady. And it's not the days of you're grinding it out throughout the day, like playing defense all the day. They're trying to shift to that that kind of cricket where they play very proper and proactive attacking cricket, being very aggressive but at the same time controlling. It's controlled aggression. And I think the way the future is being shaped right now, I'm talking about the immediate future. That's how I feel it's being shaped now. So that's the point I'm making, bro. It's you know, I would I would not be mad that if they give KL Rahul another chance. Like I'm not trying to have a bias or an agenda against anybody. I'm a personally I've been a huge supporter of KL Rahul, especially since he made his debut like 9 years ago in Test cricket and in international cricket overall. So I mean, I thought he would have had the one of the most successful careers as an opener, but I had lofty expectations because he was so talented and all that. But right now, the way the future is shaping, I think you need to have a thinking time. You need to think a lot and make a decision where whether you want to continue, whether you want to give KL Rahul another go, or you want to just officially call it out and say, okay, we are going ahead for the future. We already have a core. We're going to build. This is the future that we envision, and you have to go with it. That's what I would do. You have to take that hard call and say, it's see, you have reasons as well. You can say that, he's getting injured way too often, which is already happening. We're not making we're not making this up. It's right there.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
happened. Facts are there. Injury track record is right there. And also
And
it's not about his numbers as per se, because I don't want to give him the disadvantage, or I don't want to say that his numbers are bad and all that. That is not something I wouldn't do because it's a little unfair. If you want to say that his numbers in terms of Test cricket numbers and all that, that is bad. I won't do that. But I would say that he's getting injured way too often. Might as well have some take an extended time to get fitness, go to the National Cricket Academy and get proper
first play
fitness and
domestic
get it
cricket. First play
and play
domestic
domestic
cricket.
cricket. Yeah, that's what I
So
wanted to
first of
say.
all, and that's
Play
something that
domestic
is
cricket for
something.
Karnataka.
No, 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 no. First, that's something BCCI has finally woken up. I felt they've woken up a bit too late. That they they literally they give us sent a stern message to the contracted cricketers and the non-contracted cricketers, say that you better prioritize domestic cricket over IPL, or else there'll be severe implication even in your IPL contracts also. If you're missing first class cricket, Ranji Trophy, then you'll have a severe implication, severe consequences, and that is good. It is so good for the Indian cricket team because we're seeing a lot of cricketers, non-contracted players. They are just a second.
Yeah, you go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah, I was saying no that. We are seeing a lot of these non-contracted cricketers or contracted cricketers, centrally contracted cricketers. They are skipping a lot of domestic cricket. They're skipping Ranji trophies. Guys like Ishan Kishan, Krunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, then Deepak Chahar, uh, then a lot of cricketers, man. Varun Chakravarti, of that matter, Natarajan. They are skipping these domestic cricket. They are skipping Ranji Trophy and coming straight to IPL, knowing the fact that IPL is the shortest route to to make a comeback to Indian cricket or to make to get a call up for the Indian team. I feel that it has gone way too far. The players have uh, taken that advantage way too far. See, I'm not dishing out IPL now, because IPL has contributed so much for Indian cricket team, especially the younger generation, where they're coming in and showing their expressing their themselves, giving the livelihood for the younger players. I give you that. But then once that money comes in, no, then they're forgetting the real thing, which is the first class cricket, the domestic cricket, which is an actual uh, recipe for a creative and the grind to be a well-rounded and well-molded cricketer. And it gives you the chance to come back to make to enter the Indian team the more refined, more proper manner rather than in IPL cricket. I feel what BCCI has done, I think it has to come from Rahul Dravid and Ajit Agarkar. I have this feeling that it has to come from these two, because they've seen enough. They have two strong-headed individuals who have seen Indian cricket, and they have observed that this is happening. And kudos to them to making this call that players have to prioritize domestic cricket, or else they're not going to be selected.
I would say that that's a good call. And listen, there is also that pressing issue of a lot of people claiming that the franchisee cricket is going to dominate for the foreseeable future, especially IPL. They're pointing out that IPL will be dominating for the foreseeable future. And first class cricket or test cricket, it's going to really have some bad effects, or it's going to have a bit of a problem. But I would counter argue saying that um especially for IPL, that is, you're saying that it's the shortest routes and all that and everything. But I would argue saying that that who's going to take over as that brand ambassador or be that transcendent player who's going to promote IPL to the next level. Because right now, with the current state of cricket all over the world, where you're seeing almost every team going through a transition period. So without that, I understand that you are having quality international cricketers. I'm not disregarding the quality as such of international players, because I feel that the game that we are seeing today is a lot different than what it was back in the day. I see how test matches are being played and all that. So in terms of quality of players being produced, it's not any inferior to what it was before. But right now we are not having. Right now you have Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, especially those two, and you have other players like Steve Smith, Joe Root Williamson. Guys who are representing the brand, being that brand ambassadors, being the superstars of world cricket, being that mega stars of the world, mega stars of mega athletes of the world, like Messi. Especially, I'm comparing Kohli with Ronaldo and all that. They, he's being compared to the that level of stature in terms of fame. That in terms of fame and exposure. Without that kind of a player, and of course the one and only Dhoni as well for IPL. I mean, the thing is that we saw a season of IPL where CSK played very bad. So they didn't even qualify for the playoffs. They were eliminated very early from the league stages, and it was like way too early. Like they were like dead last, or maybe second last. I don't remember.
2022.
Yeah, 2022. That is. I mean, the way they played was so bad that the revenue and all, not revenue, as I'm talking about viewerships and all that. The interest. I mean, rather than looking into statistics and all that, I personally didn't watch a lot of IPL matches in that year because just because CSK didn't perform well. It's because as a fan of CSK myself, and of course we both are CSK fans. It's obvious. It's obvious that it's a. I mean, if you want to call us as CSK agenda biases, or you just call anything whatever you want, we are not going to care. We've already made it evident that we are huge CSK fans anyway. But just as fans, we just didn't like what it happened because they were not performing well. So I'm saying that the mere fact that they were not performing well and we didn't watch the season, or we just almost avoided the whole season, it goes to show that if the big players are not there at the stage, I mean, just their presence alone are not there, that really affects the way that the paying customers, whether people going to the stadium and seeing the match, or people who are paying money for subscriptions just to watch a match. So that alone itself, the numbers do see a bit of a dip, or maybe a significant one. It might be, I don't know the numbers. So in that
Mm.
sense, if you're seeing that kind of a dip, then imagine when players like when you have a season where you're not going to have Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Dhoni at the same time, you would see that you're not going to see a lot of people watching it. I'm talking about
I'll give you a
in terms of
comparison.
viewers.
Yeah,
Huh?
I'll give you a comparison. I'll take football as an example. There was a period where in the early 2010s, in the Spanish league, La Liga, we saw two of the greatest footballers playing against each other on regular basis. Messi for Barcelona, Cristiano Ronaldo for Real Madrid, and there was a point
The El
where
Clasico. The
in
El
El
Clasico, of
Clasico,
course.
yeah. And I'll tell you what, there's a point around 2011, they were playing 4 games in the next 20 days in the Champions League, in the La Ligas, in the Domestic Cup, and another La Liga or something like that. And it is not just Messi and Ronaldo, it's also another two of the greatest managers, Pep Guardiola and Jose Mourinho. And that time, football was so hyped up. La Liga, which is a Spanish league for the people who wants to know about football. La Liga is the Spanish league where two of the greatest athletes plus two of the greatest managers managing each representative teams facing against each other within 14 to 15 days. Of course, both of them have played together for almost 8 to 9 years together and they face against each other for so many years. That Spanish league was so hyped up. It was getting viewership. The revenue which are generated is so huge. Now both the players have gone. Now the league has gone into trash. But I think now the next couple of months, a certain Kylian Mbappe would come into this La Liga and he might revive the league. He's the next future star. I'm digressing a bit using football analogy, but then what you are saying is what I want to refer in football analogy, that when you have that major superstar in the league, it adds so much value and that brand value where when you're attracting viewership, you're attracting sponsors, you're attracting money. It makes a huge difference. I do agree with you. I think that IPL will get saturated at some point or the other,
I
but
think it will saturate. I think it will saturate. Once Dhoni's see the big domino will start to fall down when
when
Dhoni
Dhoni
announced
retires,
that when Dhoni is going to retire. He announces it straight out. He says he's going to retire. That's when the
they will
dominoes
retire.
start to fall,
Then the domino
and
will.
then you will question whether Rohit Sharma is going to play. I mean, Kohli will play a few more seasons. I don't think that saturation period will not happen when Kohli is there, because as long as Virat
Yeah,
Kohli is going to be there, I don't think that's the problem. But the season when Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Dhoni are not playing, that is
yeah,
when that people are saying, okay, that franchise cricket will thrive and survive, and for a longer time it's going to dominate for the future, and test cricket might have a problem. Okay, so when that season comes where all the three major stars are retired, that is going to be the test, like whether they will thrive, or whether they're going to see whether there might be a lot of changes in terms of viewership and attraction. Because as much as you have a lot of people watching it, and a lot of eyeballs, and a lot of people watching from around the world, if that actually speaks the most, because that's where it attracts a lot of money, sponsorship, like you said. But if it gets too saturated, and I don't know, if you don't have that kind of transcending superstars, and that is the problem that is the situation. It's one of those weirdest situations we have in world cricket, where you have almost every team going through a transition in a major way in pretty much all formats, I would say. Especially England, they said, I've said that, they've adopted baseball and all that, what have you. But and even though we've also agreed that they've not been tested against that well against quality teams, and we've seen what they've did against Australia, and right now we're seeing that they're severely getting outplayed by India this previous two test matches. So
Although
so that is the
baseball
thing,
is just,
man.
see, what England is trying to do, they're not looking for results. Okay, they don't care about the results. The way I see it is that they don't care about the results. They care about entertaining people. Test cricket needs some sort of entertainment at some point or the other. That's where baseball has been introduced. Although Brendan McCullum hates that term, that's what they're trying to do. They want to entertain people. They want to make Test cricket interesting, more fun to watch. That is the meaning of baseball. The mindset where you play fear, without any limitations whatsoever. Just go and just enjoy yourself. That is what baseball is all about.
I mean, I would
And
disagree with that. I would say that they do play for results, but at the same time, they're not letting the results dictate what they have to do next. They will have concerns about results, but anyhow,
they
we
will
have
have a
digressed way too much, so I want to keep to a good track. So anyway, like we were saying about this whole transition period. So what I'm saying is that when every other team is going through a transition period like this, especially India, Sri Lanka have been going through this like ever since Jayawardene Sangakkara have retired. So they're still going through that phase. It's rough, but hopefully we wish the best. Pakistan as well, especially right now with the way a new team rather than a pretty new makeup, especially with now um you have you have
Khan
another new
Masood,
player in there.
Khan
Huh?
Masood is playing. Saim Ayub is playing. Saim Ayub is there. He's a very exciting talent.
And Sort Shakil and
Sof Shakil is there. And then many few cricketers are there. Then who's that bowler with that 5 wicket? Or I don't remember that. I
yeah.
forgot about.
So that is the thing. When you have that many teams going through a rebuild at the same time, so that's where the new transcendent players. You need to have those players. To promote IPL or promote franchise cricket to that next level, to make it worldwide. That is how you'll know that they're going to thrive. But like I said, man, if IPL, if franchise cricket gets too saturated, and it's like not a lot of people are going to watch because there's no one that attractive, or that's I'm talking about the casual fans, or very hardcore cricket fans who love watching cricket would watch any kind of cricket, whether it's franchise cricket or whatever it is. Like, I mean, I would consider myself a cricket junkie, but maybe not now because I do have a lot of other things in life. But maybe when I was a lot younger, when I was in my school, I would
And same.
consider as myself a big junkie of cricket, and so do you. So
Both are fine.
maybe people like us, or maybe a lot of other people who watch cricket because they love cricket, they would continue to watch. But people who are attracted to people, other superstars, and just for the sake of seeing their presence, would that there's the atmosphere of them being there. It transcends. So that kind of lack of that kind of presence would actually saturate franchisee cricket, and that is where that's what I would say. Test cricket is not going to have a problem. It may have a bit of a problem here or there, but it's not going to affect them to a point where it's going to go extinct. I say that something or the other will happen where it will ultimately take something or the other will, reverse that effect to make it a balance. Like how it was, before T20 internationals dominated a lot of bilateral series, you had a balance of a three test match series, a five ODI series, and three T20 internationals. Or you have two T20 internationals, and you don't play for a series, you rather just play a one off T20 international or two matches or whatever it is. You had that balance. You had a good number of test matches, a good number of ODI matches, and a good number of T20 internationals. When you have that balance, That is where that sport will gain attraction, in a sense that okay, they're able to enjoy all these three formats of games. So you know that you have good contests. See, every match is very individual. You're not going to have close contests every other then, but you'll get exposed as a viewer to see different formats of the game at the same time, and also you're seeing teams compete for something, winning a series or getting, whether you want to go to a world test championship final or something. So that is where, and also since I mentioned regarding this whole if if franchise cricket gets saturated, that's when the test match format can make a strong statement by coming back and
But I'll
getting
tell you
that
something.
balance in. That is one thing, and I want to make another point.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Now with BCCI implementing that the players who are not part of the national team are not going anywhere, you have to play first class cricket and all that. They've made it mandatory, otherwise they're going to have implications in their IPL contracts. That is also another extreme, very strong approach. They've said we want to value test cricket, we want to keep the rich history of the Indian cricket, or
Yeah.
pretty much cricket everywhere in the world. You have to maintain that it is important to maintain that tradition. I know, see, for a lot of current viewers, test match cricket may not be their strong suit for viewing it, because the attention span is very short, and they just want to see entertainment and all that. But if entertainment itself is so saturated, then you can only find other ways to get entertained, and you have to adjust to it and something like that. So
Hmm.
that is what I'm saying. It's customers, or viewers just getting, new forms of entertainment, or seeing something very new, and getting exposed. But it's also, maintaining the tradition of cricket,
But
and also,
I will tell you something.
getting through new talent. That's how you
Yeah.
nurture new talent. At the same time, go through the grind of playing a lot of domestic games, whether it's list A or first class, or a lot of T20 tournaments. That's how you should try to nurture it. Have a balance of, okay, I want to play a little bit of franchise cricket, at the same time I have to play a little bit more domestic cricket to get the grind, get yourself seasoned. See, franchise cricket is like, you have to, it's like getting exposure to, play against a larger crowd. That's like under pressure, you're playing against a huge, huge number of fans. So that will prepare you for the international stage where you can expose to the pressure, and, you have that mindset. Okay, you've played under huge crowds before, so I know how to exactly navigate through it. Formats would be different, but you can navigate through playing through under pressure against a larger crowd. But having the seasoning, getting your body ready, getting your body, your mental focus, getting seasoned through all these domestic crickets and all that, that will, you know, give you full, it can fine tune your technical skills, and also get your game mind, getting clear. Your game mind, analyzing the format, regardless of, whether you're not going to play against a big crowd, because crowd is there, it's more for, how you would perform under pressure with expectations. But playing against, not in front of anyone, would allow you to nurture, get tweak tinker your technique, and get your game mind right. So that is where, when you have a balance of all of it, franchise cricket, domestic cricket, and international cricket, all formats, a bit of a balance. It's very difficult to maintain that balance. I'll give you that. It's not been easy for ICC or cricketing boards to keep a balance, but that's what you should strive for, and that will also help the WTC championship as well. Of course, there's a lot of other things that WTC has to do, which we can talk about it later. I don't think we can talk too much about it, because that will take a lot of time as well if I talk about WTC as well, because I have a lot of problem with that. But that's what I'm saying. Trying to, you can try to have that balance. It may not happen because schedule conflicts would be there. Players getting injured, and a lot of other factors are there, but it's that preserving that, getting back to the traditions, the roots of it. Obviously, you're not going to see a long five test match or the seven test match series you used to have long back. You're not going to go back to the old days, but maybe you can do something new, get it balanced. So that's what I feel.
I want to looking at the business point of view. How do you attract people to watch cricket? which is the one format that attracts people a lot, is the T20 format, right? You wanted new viewers. Okay, you said that you need superstars. You need the Kohlis, the Dhonis, the Rohit Sharmas. But then nowadays you said that you also said yourself that the attention span of the people is so very low that they can't watch Test cricket. I agree with you. But as a business commercial point of view, the one format that attracts cricket the most is the T20 format. Why not use T20 cricket as a vehicle to attract people? Then from there, the viewers will slowly find out the other formats of the game. There's a Test cricket, there's a T20, there's a One Day cricket, and learn about the game in a very learn the game, learn the how it's played, how many overs, how the batsmen are approaching, and all that stuff. And I feel that
That
as
is
Test
difficult to
cricket,
do because
it's
if you
difficult to
make
do.
T20 cricket, but if you make T20 cricket as that commercial tool,
It's
but
already a
then
commercial
they
tool, man. It's a commercial tool. Let's face it. It's a
it
commercial
is.
tool, and that's what I feel. We have to use it in a way you can promote cricket. That's what ICC is trying to.
But
That
I'm
is why they
saying that it should be balanced.
it
I'm
should be
saying that
balanced.
it
I
should
know.
be balanced. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be a commercial thing. It is important to make something make something commercial for people to get attracted to. That is
Yeah,
okay.
that's
I agree with you, but it should be balanced because you're seeing players missing seasons. And since you mentioned, you brought up some examples regarding Natarajan, Deepak Chahar, Hardik
yeah,
Pandya, and all them, and Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan is someone who's taken a mental break. I mean, we don't want to ridicule everything and say just whatever the other ex cricketers would say. We don't want to ridicule him like that. We wish him the best, and he should get whatever he's going through. It's very serious. Mental health, anything is serious, so we have to give him good wishes.
yeah,
But
yeah.
at the
That's
same time, it's a different situation. It's mental health, but when you compare it with Hardik Pandya, Natarajan, and Deepak Chahar, it's all injuries. There it's more injury related, so it's case to case.
Deepak Chahar is fit. Deepak Chahar
Pardon?
is fit. Deepak Chahar
No,
is fit. He's not
I
injured. He's staying outside. That's
no.
what I'm
I'm
trying to
saying that
say.
that's
Varun
no. That
Chakravarti.
is more of a history. I'm saying track record wise. I'm saying that few years ago he's been having a lot of injuries. So that's what I'm saying. That even though he's fit now, he whatever it is. So I'm not
But
trying to
how?
say that
But
what is happening right now.
for you to not get injured way too much, you play first class cricket. That makes your body more
Yes,
molded or more grind out
yes,
in the way that you get used to that grind and the hard years, so that you'll be able to cope up with the IPL and the international cricket itself. Of course, it'll be a different matter that. But then, first of all, uh, for commercial purposes, I think T20 is the best way to promote cricket so that the consumers will start learning about the other formats of the game. But then on
yes,
the
true.
other hand, the other hand, Test cricket is going through a, a, a lull period in the sense, but where we lack players, we lack entertainers in the game. That is why I bought that point out that baseball is there to be entertained. Of course, England do care about the results, but it's more for entertaining people, and you need people to promote Test cricket. Virat Kohli has been the flag bearer of Test cricket. Rishabh Pant, Ben Stokes, Steve Smith, Mitchell Stark, all these cricketers,
Williamson.
Williamson, yes, all these cricketers, they need to. They are the ones who holds responsible for making sure for keeping Test cricket alive. And coming in the future, I don't even know who is the next future star. Of course, it will be Rishabh Pant. There's no two ways about it. We all agree the fact that Rishabh Pant is the next flag bearer as far as Test cricket is concerned. Now we are seeing Yashasvi Jaiswal being the new rising
And then
star.
you have Gill.
Gill, yes. And if you look at the other teams like um Rachin Ravindra, you got Cameron Green from Australia, Harry Brook in England. These are the future cricketers who needs to make sure they keep Test cricket
And Abdullah
relevant.
Shafiq from Pakistan. Abdullah
Yes,
Shafiq.
yes, him also. These are the cricketers. The next gen needs to make sure they prioritize test cricket and make sure they have to keep it interesting and exciting. That's what we wanted. At the end of the day, we don't want these the boring draws or the early finishes, the which matches finishes on 3 days, within 3 days or 2 days. We like to see exciting cricket which goes to the last day, nail biting, close
Or
matches.
even
That's
the
what
fourth day also. See, even I don't mind 4-day matches as well, as long as it's
boring
exciting.
matches. I
Even
like
the one which we happened in Rajkot, even though England got an absolute thumping, it was still entertaining. So at least
it was
anywhere like
entertaining.
that,
Yeah,
a
it was
very
entertaining.
entertaining 4 days and a 5 days would be good, but
I like to see
ending it
entertaining.
quickly is not good.
I
I have to
like I
agree
like
with
to
that.
see I like to see cricket to be entertaining, exciting. See, T20 is also too much of T20 is also not good. I don't even follow bilateral cricket at all. I don't even follow
Exactly.
bilateral. I don't even
Same
watch
here.
bilateral. I don't even follow T20 cricket. Especially that Afghanistan T20 is the only match I watched properly was the Rohit Sharma scoring that century in the double super over. That's the only match I watched. Nothing else I watched. It's so boring. Too much
Even
of
I
these
didn't watch
bilateral.
those.
I'll be honest with you. I'd rather, and this might sound harsh, but I'd rather cancel out these bilateral series, man. It's so boring, so redundant. Keep test cricket. Keep test cricket. Keep what I would suggest you is that if there's any ICC tournament happening at a certain format, suppose T20 cricket is happening, keep T20 bilateral series. It's the best way to as a preparation tool, but don't keep one day cricket at all. When the Champions Trophy is coming next year, keep one day cricket only. No need T20s here and there. I know you wanted to promote Test cricket, you want T20 cricket, but keep it as a
No,
promotional.
I would say rather than want to keep only these specific formats for preparation, just keep it what it was. Just keep it balanced. I mean, you had a lot of T20 international, you had T20 World Cups before, but there weren't no particular bilateral series were keeping like five T20 internationals just for practice. You keep it whatever it was. Just make it balanced. Just have a proper bilateral series where you had like a standard a standard bilateral schedule where you had like three test matches, five ODIs, two T20 internationals, or three T20 internationals. Keep all formats of the game with you in your schedule and make odd number matches. Like if you want to keep five test matches, keep five test match series. If you want to keep three ODIs, keep three ODIs. Three T20s means keep three T20s. Or you can switch it around depending on the season. Just have all
This,
three formats with you, keep it
yeah,
balanced
keep
like
all
how it
formats.
was, because you still
All
it was
formats.
still working at the time. So it somewhere or the other, that whole that obsession of having T20 cricket has really spoiled it. It was the way it was before. It was so balanced, there was nothing wrong with that. See, if there was something wrong, let's say that okay, teams are not able to prepare for this format because World Cup is coming, a T20 World Cup is coming, or a Test WTC Championship final is coming. Okay, if that's the reason where they're not getting adequate preparation to adapt to the format, okay, I don't feel like that. I personally feel that that's not a good excuse to make, but let's say it is a valid excuse. Okay, you can do that. But when you had a balance already, a balance of all three formats for a bilateral schedule with you, if it's going good, I personally, when I was growing up watching cricket, it used to be like that. Having a norm, having a balance was there. It was working because all teams, see tournaments. It's like you don't know who's gonna win, so it's all luck. It's all you can't predict. It's difficult to do so. But regardless of that, but for preparation, you had it like that before. Why don't you just stick to it? Because there was nothing wrong. The problem is that it automatically changed somewhere along the way because you had the franchisee cricket and all that getting attracted, and they're all grounds, and even ICC. Everybody views that as a commercial tool, and they that generates a lot of revenue for you know um, a lot of grounds, and also for ICC, and it generates revenue in general. So that's where along the way it started to work because you had a lot of entertainment factor. But now it's come to a point where we speak in this video because it's getting saturated as the years go on. The T20 cricket is becoming so saturated right now. we're seeing that it's IPL is it's too much of consumption of IPL. It's like, the IPL season is just that. That's when, everybody watches cricket, and then the rest of the year you don't see a lot of people watch cricket unless it's a tournament or anything. But before that, you watch cricket throughout the year, regardless. Even when IPL was still there, IPL was, when it first started, it was still one of the hottest commodities in India and also in world cricket. So let's not act that it was not that popular. It was popular, maybe not as how um so obsessed and so saturated right now it is. I would agree, but it was still very popular.
Saturated at the
So
moment. It's not saturated at the moment. It's still going good till the legends are there.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it will go good until the legends are there, but I feel now it's become too saturated. And once that period where you don't have those superstars in the game, and you viewership, it's going to have a lot of changes. And the teams which had the massive fan bases, but if the teams are not going to perform well, then viewership will have a bit of a change. I mean, look, we've digressed way too much. We've touched so much points here or there. It's gone through a big juggle here or there. But
I before
what
that, before
what I will connect with, what I'll say is, let like, going for the future, you're not gonna see any formats of the game going extinct or going. You might have a very dull period, but I don't see any of the formats of the game going extinct. It's just that somewhere or the other, a balance should be met. You will get that by fixing, like, bringing back to what it was already, because that whole, keeping all formats of the game in this part of a schedule, keeping it very even, having a proper structure where all three formats get importance. When you do that, it was already there. When you just bring back that standard, that balance, I feel like you're not going to see you're going to see all three formats have prosper. That's what I feel. That's what I think they should.
I
I
come
think that's
back
what they
to
should try
the
to
point
look
which
into
you're
it, but
making.
it depends.
The point which you're making right now, bringing back the balance of the farmer. We have to come back with the context. Like before 10, 15 years back, T20 cricket is like an infant. It's like a child. It's still in a teenage age. It's almost been like 15, 20 years almost since T20 has been introduced. During that time, T20 cricket wasn't taken as seriously as it was. Like there wasn't any cricketing boards having their own franchise cricket. That's why the other formats, a Test and a Monday cricket, was taken a huge priority. But then once T20 cricket has taken the center stage, every cricketing board has their own T20 formats, T20 leagues. That is where it has really taken the precedence. It has taken cricket to a different direction. It has become more commercial than before. Now we're seeing new T10 cricket, the 100, everything else, and then that is where the
I
other
mean,
formats
the
died
Olympics
out.
are we are going to see cricket in the Olympics, and that is going to be more or less in the T20 format. So you're not going to see
Exactly.
ODIs or
See,
test match crickets in
one more
Olympics.
point, one more point I would like to mention that we are saying Test cricket is suffering. It's not Test cricket who's struggling. It's the ODI cricket is struggling because
No, let me clarify that. I'm not saying Test cricket is struggling. I'm saying that, a lot of ex-cricketers and a lot of experts,
no, no,
they
I'm not
claim
saying
that,
about your
the
point.
French.
I'm not saying about your point. I'm saying what you're saying. Test cricket will be there. But I'm saying is the one
I'm
day
not saying
format.
it's suffering. Like, I'm not saying
No,
it's suffering. I'm
it's
just
not
saying that
suffering.
it's.
No, I'm saying it is going down a bit, but it's the one day cricket that is taking a bigger hit than that.
I agree with you. Yeah.
No, Test cricket will remain. I'm saying test people. I'm saying in the context of the people's opinion. It's not saying your opinion. I know your opinion saying that there should be a balanced view. That there should be a superstar in the franchise cricket. I know. I agree with you. I'm saying in the context of the people feeling that Test cricket is suffering. It's not Test cricket, man. It's one day cricket. Who who
Yeah, I
who,
agree with you.
who who's watching one day cricket at this point? Nobody has watched one day cricket since the World Cup final itself.
Well, I agree with you. There
People
were
watch.
debates. There were debates, and there were other opinions saying that why were you keeping ODI cricket series in the India South Africa,
Exactly.
Why you are
Exactly.
keeping ODI series when the World Cup is already over? Why would you keep
Exactly.
a ODI series? And you're not nobody's gonna watch one day cricket, and you're gonna prepare for the T20
And
World Cup.
and, and,
So
and there's a stat they're saying that from 23 to 2023 to 2027 that you're going to face your number of one day cricket. That shows that
yeah,
that format actually suffering the most. Then the test cricket. I think that's the top. That's the format that is needs to be fixed more rather than thinking of test cricket. Test cricket is going
I give you
nowhere.
that.
Test cricket is going nowhere. It will never go anywhere because if Test cricket is out, then will ruin the hundreds of years of legacy itself. Is the one day cricket is suffering the most because that's the prestige format where we've seen the World Cups being held. Of course, T20 World Cup is special in its own way, but then as a child, as a fan, when you grow up and watch cricket, is the cricket World Cup that we watch, that we grew up watching. We grew up watching this. I mean, we're not at that old talking about the 1990s, but as a fan watching the 2011 World Cup where we won when Dhoni hit that six, that format was so precious, was so amazing, so beautiful in its own way. That is so sad to see one day cricket suffering the most.
I mean,
And
the thing is that
and
people are watching one day cricket is only during the World Cup. I mean, the
is
most number
during
of
the
ODI
World
cricket
Cup.
people have watched is during the World Cup, and it's being promoted as to being this prestigious of a tournament, but surrounding that or before that, you're not playing a lot of one day cricket in general. So
Exactly.
I don't know. It's
That is
you.
why.
It's
That
it's
is
like
why.
it's like you're it's like there is already a contradiction within itself. I mean, you're not playing a lot of one day cricket to begin with. You're only playing a lot of one day cricket only before it's only World Cup season, or you have like a year left for the
Yeah,
World Cup or something. I mean, not even a year left for the World Cup. Maybe in 6 months.
yeah, exactly,
Let's
exactly,
say
exactly.
6 months before the World Cup. That is only when you have a lot of that is only when you are having teams playing a lot of ODIs. But that should not be the case. It should be constant. It should be like level headed. That's what I'm saying. That's what
Yeah,
I've been
it should
saying.
be level headed, yes. And I'll tell you what, the only way, and I feel the only way where it works is that I believe that me and you should write a petition that bring back try series, bring back triangular, quadrilateral series,
Mm,
three members,
I
four
mean,
members.
bro,
I
I love
wanted,
that.
I love tri series, bro. I grew up watching that CB series which India won in 2008.
That was
India,
like
Sri
the
Lanka,
famous try series of all time, bro.
India, Sri Lanka, India, Sri Lanka, Australia.
Australia.
I wanted that tri series to be there. That made it cricket so exciting. Three nations, three big nations competing against each other. For
It's
that,
like a mini tournament, which is so good to see.
it, and what the advantage of the tri series is that we are playing with a point system. And second of all, no, you play within the pressure. Okay, you want to reach the finals, you want to get the bonus point,
You
you want to
have
make sure that
competition.
you
It's
have
it's good
competition.
competition. Exactly.
Rather than this snooze fest, one day bilateral series, replace that with bilateral with triangular series, quadrilateral, four nation series, tri nation, four nation. Do that. What is harm in that? What is my ideal tri series? India, England, Australia. These are the three teams play tri series. It will attract huge interest. It
I
will
mean,
attract
it
huge
happened
interest.
before. It happened before, although
Bro, bro, that
it was
time,
not that
bro, that time,
attractive.
no, no, that time England were a shit. They were a trash team. Now with the current England team, forget that World Cup 2023 didn't go well, but still it's a good team. I rather see these three nations playing a tri series where it attracts a lot of consumers. Why not bring back?
That is one thing.
It's not just in bilateral series, not just in ODS. Bring back in T20s. Bring tri series. Bring
I
tri
mean,
series.
we we both can start a petition, but no one is going to care unless if we sponsor
No,
some bondas or
I know.
samosas or only that. So no one is going to care about our petitions. But
Um,
I agree with your point. Having a tri series or like that, bringing back something, some of those kind of series. Maybe you can't do that often, but maybe once in a while, maybe you can give it a comeback, something like that. Maybe once in a while. I mean, the tri
you
series and
should
all
do
that
that.
happens like only very ill frequently. It's like once in a while,
The
or it's like
the
a very
last
rare
crisis,
occurrence.
the last crisis I could ever remember was that the Nidahas Trophy. That's the only like proper
Mm,
crisis I could remember.
yeah,
Maybe in between some other crises here and I don't even give a damn about other cricketers, other teams playing. I don't even give a damn. But that was a proper
yeah.
crisis. But that's what, bro. I like the tri series, but it was so fun, and I don't know why the cricketing boards have not thought about that idea. Bring back the tri series. That was so good. I like to see that competition happening there itself. Where it was the cricket was so entertaining. It was so exciting. Uh, I mean, why not? Why not bring that? If a bilateral series is not working at all? Why not try this? It benefits all parties. The money which they were going to earn is going
I
to
agree
split.
with you on that. Yes.
I mean, the money, the interest is going to get, it will be split in every parties. It's going to benefit everybody else. I wanted that happening. Imagine India, Australia, and England playing in England. Try nation series. It will
Oh,
be
it's gonna
amazing.
be something. It's gonna be
I would
something.
love
I agree
to.
with you.
I wanted that to happen. I don't want
Yeah,
the bilateral series wins, India winning, being the Paytm winning team rather than the World Cup winning team. All that
yeah.
stuff. Bro. I'm really sick of these bilateral series wins, bro. I feel these bilateral series wins means nothing at all, man. I
It's not
am
going
going
to
to
mean anything
I
anymore.
am going to officially announce the retirement of watching bilateral series cricket. I am going to stick with Test cricket and and World Cups and a bit of an IPL here.
Newsflash! Newsflash! I've unofficially already did that, so you don't need to make it official claims
I
anymore.
know I need to do
I
that.
did it anyway.
No, but bro,
Anyway,
yeah.
anyway, we've circled so much. We've run through circles. We've gone so where we've just juggled a lot of places with no track. But now I'll come back to the original place where we started regarding the India England series. What do you think will be the thing for the next match? What do you expect in Ranchi?
Ranchi, I feel it'd be a turning wicket. That's a start. Let's get that away. England's don't complain at all. You know it's going to be a turning wicket. Don't whine about it. Second of all, uh, England will have to rethink their strategy, especially the bowling front. Because ICC don't see this bowling lineup to be effective. They have to bring back Ollie Robinson at some point or the other because the way he bowled in that Pakistan series, the way he bowled with seam and skill, I think he's been amazing. Replace him with James Anderson because look, as much as I love
I
James
mean,
Anderson,
they're not
as
going
much
to
as
do that. They're
they're
not
not
going
going
to
to do
do
that.
that.
No, they're not. No. As much as I love James Anderson, I mean, he's a legend. No two ways about it. He's a legend of Test cricket, no doubt. But then you're playing your series is on the line. The premium fast bowler is not picking enough wickets. Okay, forget in second test he has done well, but then the third test he's been very ineffective. Why not bring James Ollie Robinson so that what happens now is that James Anderson will be fit for the last test match. He'll be fit. He'll be fresh. Give him that break. Bring Ollie Robinson. He's not that he both of them are not that different at all to be honest. But Ollie Robinson has that youthful energy. He's a very skillful bowler and play Mark Wood. Uh, about the spin front, I don't know. There were rumors, there were reports saying that Ben Stokes might bowl in the last two test matches. I don't know how true it is. I don't know how fit he is at the moment, how good his knee is. That is something. Batting up front, look, if if England has to get a result out of it, they have the Bestos, the Roos, the Ben Stokes, they have to score a lot of runs because it's been the top three who have scored a lot of runs. It's the middle order that has not contributed at all. Let's be real. Let's be clear with that. I like to see Joe Root being back the Joe Root he was. Of course, the
Which
baseball
I
and all.
believe will happen. Which I believe will happen because he's too good a player to miss out.
He's too good a player, but then if England has to do well, then Joe Root has to score runs. Best has to score runs. Ben Stokes he scored runs, but then it's not that the Ben Stokes we know, the taking the leadership and the responsibility, taking the team
I agree
forward.
with that.
That is something I like to see Ben Stokes. As far as India is concerned, KL Rao will be back straight.
Instead of Rajat Patidar, it's
Exactly.
straightforward.
and Bumrah maybe being rested, so Mukesh Kumar will eventually will come in. I think these are the
I don't know. I'm a little concerned. But I mean, I agree with you on that. I mean, it's nothing much. I would have said the same thing, but is it Mukesh Kumar? I mean, we'll see how, we'll see how.
But mind you that India, if you're playing in Ranchi, which most likely could be a turner. I don't know how the wicket is. We don't know how, but what we have seen in the stats in the previous Test match, it's a turning wicket, and Indian struggles a lot in turning wickets, generally speaking. But then with the guys like Jaiswal and Sarfraz Khan, who's playing domestic cricket, who recently played domestic cricket, I think they will add so much value to it. That's what I feel.
Yeah, that's obvious. But would India try to go with the four spinner approach, four spinner attack? It's unlikely, bringing in Akshar Patel instead of Bumrah. I don't think that
Yeah,
will happen. But I mean, I don't think that will happen. But I think if there's a match, if there's an opportunity to do that, I think it's in Ranchi. But I think they're going to replace with another fast bowler, bringing in Mukesh Kumar anyhow. Which, listen, it's I hope that if he gets a chance, he does well because I've been a bit of a good supporter of Mukesh Kumar, especially like we've mentioned about Sarfaraz and Jaiswal, going through the grind of first class cricket. So do Mukesh Kumar. So getting another opportunity like that would mean something. But I mean, anyhow, it is what it is, and I think we can end it up right here because
we ended up
we've circled through so much.
we circled through so much. So, guys, please share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe to the channel. And it was a very long and fruitful conversation with no uh, any agendas whatsoever. We circled on every kinds of topics. But please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please tune in for more videos, and we will end this. So take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.